Hey YouTube, what's going on? Torsar here with another sports talk video. Before I get started today, really quick, I usually do this at the end of my videos just to try to not be too obnoxious. But any interaction with these videos whatsoever really helps. If you're already here, consider dropping a like, dislike, leaving a comment, dropping a sub especially. It really helps. Any interaction whatsoever, it's totally free. And if you're already here, hey, why not, right? But let's get into what I wanted to talk about on this video, and that's the NFL playoff picture. Playoffs? Now, the picture today is a lot clearer, and I want to make a correction on something I said yesterday in a video because I had a brain slip when I was looking at the NFC playoff picture. I said there was 6 teams vying for 3 spots. I kind of saw the Cardinals and the Rams for some reason like they were both going to win the division. One of those teams is going to get the wild card, so it was really 6 teams vying for 2 spots. Now that picture has become more clear today, with the Cowboys, or I mean the Eagles clinching one of those spots, and it's weird because they're in the 7th seed yet they're clinched, and the 49ers are currently in the 6th, yet they could still lose it to the Saints. I know tiebreakers in the NFL are kind of weird. Just the fact that the Cowboys actually clinched the division before their game even started last week. You would think like, oh, that win last week clinched the division for them. No, because of the weird NFL tiebreakers and the strength of opponent, the Broncos beating the Raiders last week actually clinched the division for the Cowboys because the Eagles, surprisingly, still had a chance. If they had won out and the Cowboys had lost out, the Eagles could have still taken the division. So that's why I didn't even want to get too much into the playoff picture because there were so many teams. But I just wanted to make that correction really quick because I said, oh, maybe someone will even make the playoffs with an under 500 record in the NFC. That's not going to happen. That's now impossible. One of these teams is going to be, at the worst, they can finish as 9-8. Even the Saints, if they did make it, they would have to win. So they would be 9-8. 49ers, at the worst they can do is 9-8. Same thing with the Eagles. And it's looking like the same thing in the AFC. No team is going to enter the playoffs with a losing record. All right, so that's pretty cool to see those years when people are just like, 7-9 or whatever. It gets a little, it's almost like a bye for that other team. Now, probably the biggest thing that happened yesterday was, man, those Bengals beating the Chiefs. Whew, what a game, man. And the Chiefs, they're really going to face an uphill battle now because they need to beat, let's look at the matchups for next week. They're going to need to beat the Broncos, which the Broncos are better, like I said, they're better than everyone's been giving them credit for. It's a division game, it's in Denver, it's not going to be an easy game. And at the same time, they're going to have to hope that the Titans lose to the Texans, which, again, that's a division game. The Texans have played, they're a bad team, but they've played people, some pretty decent games this year. They've given up a fight. It's not an automatic win for the Titans. They've also been a very inconsistent team this year. I think the Texans actually beat them earlier in the year, didn't they? But either way, the playoff picture is a lot more clear. The Cowboys, that was really a bad loss. They're now, I was talking about this the other day, they still had the availability. They could have still been the 1 seed or even the 2 seed. That's still a really good. They really could have used that because now that if they can win that first round playoff game, they're either going to have to face like their first round game is probably either going to be against either the Rams or the Cardinals. And then their second round game, they're going to have to face like someone like, the Packers, the Bucks. It's going to be tough. All their games after the first game, they're all going to be on the road. All right, now in the AFC, you have the Patriots actually clinched. So, Pats fans rejoice. You guys are in there. I don't know what the chances are. As far as them still winning the division. I mean, obviously, if they win and the Bills lose, then they're going to win the division. I I don't know if the Bills have the tiebreaker. Maybe some Pats fan can come in and, with some more knowledge and let me know. The Pats are going up against the Dolphins. It's not going to be an easy game. The Bills have the Jets at home. So right away you'd say that's advantage Bills, but hey, it's the NFL. Anything can happen. Obviously, you still have to play the games. Are the Dolphins even still in the playoff hunt? I don't believe they are they? No, they're out of it. So, and the Patriots, I don't know if they're going to be. It's weird to know, like, some of these games, like with the Cowboys and the Eagles both having clinched their playoff spots. Are they both just going to decide to rest their players? Or maybe the Eagles, does it really matter if you're not going to get the fifth seed? So does it really matter if you're the sixth or seventh seed? The Cowboys, are they really going to stress that much importance? Or if they even have the tiebreaker, I don't know. Like if the Bucks lose or the Rams lose and the Cowboys win, can they even still get the third seed? So some of these things, it's just kind of picking, nitpicking on what could happen. You see all these teams still on the bubble. That Colts losing yesterday, that was really hurting. So let's look at their matchups for next week. The Colts, they got a favorable matchup versus the Jaguars. Let's see, where's the Chargers at? Go Chargers! Oh, Chargers versus Raiders. Wow, so that's going to be a game. And you could see, I think NBC probably cherry pick that one as they get to do at the end of the year for the Sunday night games. I can almost guarantee that was not the original matchup for that last game. And that's why you see sometimes at the end of a year, like yesterday, the Giants were playing the Bears on CBS. That's a matchup you won't see in the beginning of the year because CBS is AFC is the matchups on CBS and the Fox gets the NFC. So when you start seeing two NFC teams on CBS or two AFC teams on Fox, that's when you know some games were cherry picked by the Sunday night game. These NFL contracts for what stations get what, they're very convoluted. You literally have to be a lawyer to fully understand them, or you have to very deeply study them. You have to be a lawyer to work on them, just like you have to be a lawyer to represent some of these players. Pretty much I don't know how many people know that, but like every sports agent is a lawyer. They've passed the bar exam. I know you have people now like Rich Paul representing LeBron James, but I'm not sure if he actually technically represents him. I know they have their agency. Anyone can own a business. There's still rules and regulations as far as who can actually be a licensed sports agent, though. Obviously, you can have anyone representing you, but to actually be licensed as a sports agent, all those guys are lawyers. So they've all studied contracts just like a normal courtroom lawyer would study a bunch of cases. But yeah, it should be a pretty good week. I'm not sure there's going to be as much essential playoff games, as I was saying, as I thought there would be. As you could see, like the NFC is almost totally locked up. It's just pretty much like, is it going to be the Saints or the Niners? And then the AFC, like I said, that Raiders-Chargers game, that's going to be a doozy because that's pretty much whoever wins that, they're going to have that seventh seed. And then the Colts just, they got to win that game versus the Jags. You can't lose that game. You want to make the playoffs, win that game. I'm not sure. It looks like the Ravens and the Steelers would just need the Colts to lose that. I don't see how they still have a window in there. Because even if the Colts lose, they're 9-8. I guess if the Ravens win and they get to 9-8, maybe they have the tiebreaker over the Colts. Same thing with the Steelers. Sometimes this tie, people don't like ties. sometimes that tie can be a godsend at the end of the year, as you can see if they finish 8-7-1. You know, I just don't see how they still have a window in there, though. I think they would need a bunch of stuff to happen, because that's the thing that hurts, is that both these teams are playing each other. They're both, one of them's going to win. Maybe a tie itself in there as well as something. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how the Steelers still have a shot. You could see this is the, if anyone's looking at the draft order, this is the draft order right now. All right. So you could see Jags, Lions, Texans, Giants, Jets. I saw the Jets. Some Jets fans are like, were upset about losing that game. Did you really want to win that? You know. Now you could see there wasn't much. It's going from 4 wins to 5 wins. There's only one team with 5 wins, so you weren't going to ruin your draft position too much. And considering Jacksonville and Detroit are only 2 wins, if you're like a Giants fan like me, hoping for your team to lose out just to get a better draft pick, well, you're only going to move up and down this board so far. So it's looking like it's going to be a pretty good playoff matchups, though. Should be a very fun postseason. The AFC, it's looking wide open. NFC, got some very top-heavy teams. So we'll see what happens. But as usual, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Until the next video, peace.